Buyers are often confused about the way that Oregon property taxes are calculated and how they are paid. So let's talk about that. I'm laughing because even today while we're talking about it, we've had to go over this a few times to make sure we explained it in a way that makes sense. So here we go. Our property tax year runs from July 1st through June 30th. That's simple. But then the taxes are actually due and collected in November. And I've been told that the reason for this is that being an agricultural state, farmers have most of their money in November, and that's why they wanted to collect the taxes then. I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that, but that was my understanding. At any rate, so this impacts what happens to you when you're buying or selling a home and how the taxes get regulated. The taxes get regulated by the title company, so they make sure that everything is prorated out and that you're only paying the taxes for the portion of that year that you live in the house. So what happens is, if you are buying a house before the end of June, that means the seller has paid them back in November. And in November, they paid ahead to the 30th of June. So if you buy before the end of June, you will reimburse the seller for the taxes they have paid. If you buy after June, the seller will reimburse you for the taxes that you're going to be paying the following November. I hope that makes sense. And then what happens to you is the lenders will collect reserves in your account. So for example, if you are going to buy a house in, let's say, August, but the taxes are going to be due in November, you're going to have something called closing costs. And those closing costs will include the seller wanting you to pay ahead on those property tax payments so that come November, your lender can then pay the full amount of your property taxes. So you're going to have costs besides the main costs of your down payment and your earnest money called closing costs, and I'll discuss that in another episode of Ask Alexis, so that those funds are available come November for you to pay your taxes. And this is, of course, if you have included taxes in your mortgage payments. If you haven't, then you're just going to get the full tax bill in November and you'll pay them all at once. My advice to you about that is if you're getting a loan, be sure to include those tax payments in your loan. You'll get a discount from the lender and you won't get hit with a big fat tax bill in November right before the holidays. We did that once. I hated it. Ever since then, taxes are in that mortgage payment, and when that payment comes due in November, it's already paid and I've accrued it all year long.